What we're going to do today is we're going to drop this fuel tank. This thing has been sitting for at least 6 years, so the fuel in here, you can just open the cap and it smells so bad right now. So we're going to drop this fuel and we're going to drop this fuel tank and we're going to empty out this fuel. We're going to pull out our fuel pump and we're going to inspect it. We're going to inspect our hoses. I don't want to try to start this thing after so long and try to pump this nasty fuel back up through this system. I don't need a clogged injector. I don't need the screens in there and that throttle body to be clogged up. I don't need my fuel return lines clogged up, and I certainly don't need my pressure regulators screwed up. All right, so what we're going to do today is drop the fuel tank and inspect it, replace the fuel pump. All right, cool. Okay, we're going to take this hitch off first, and it's held on with 4 17mm bolts. 2 over here. I've already got 1 off here, 1 here, and then there's 2 over here. If we can get up in there, see that. And once that's done, we'll take these bolts off here and here, and there's 2 more underneath, and that's for a total of 4. And then we'll drop this tank down with a floor jack real slow, and it gives us access to all the electrical and all the hoses. We've got to take the tank inlet hose, you know, where the filler hose where you put the gas in. We've got to undo that either at the tank or up on top by the filler neck if we want to. We'll see how that goes. So but anyway, that's what's going to happen next. We're going to pull this hitch off, and then we're going to drop this tank down and set it on a floor jack and start disconnecting it. Okay? All right. Here's one right here. This is closer to the differential. So, and here's one right here. Okay. Up here, this is your fuel filter. We're going to have to disconnect this feed line. This is your inlet line to your fuel filter. We're going to swap this fuel filter out too. Okay. This thing's set for 5 or 6 years. There's fuel inside. It's varnished. I don't know what condition it's in. I don't want it pumping through my system. I don't want it up to my throttle body. So it's coming out. So, and then we'll take these 2 here off. You can see it here and over here. And then we're going to set it on a jack. So I'm going to take these in the back off first and set it on a jack. So take these off in the back first. Set this thing on a jack so I can lower it a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect that inlet fuel line to the fuel filter up there. I'm going to get that right now, and then we'll get this thing going. I might be able to, I don't know if you can see it or not. There it is. See right there? That's for our filler neck tube. So we're going to get that off. You can see up there where our lines are. Up in here, fuel lines, fuel return lines, that kind of stuff. So okay, so we'll do. How about that? There we go. So you have these lines here that you can take off right here, and like I said, we're going to take off the vent tube right here, and that's for when you're fueling. All the air that gets in there gets forced back out, and then we'll disconnect the fuel inlet hose right there. Okay, and then up here you can see it, this bad boy right here, that's your plug-in. That's for your fuel pump right there. So we're going to disconnect right there. Okay. All right. Okay. And there it is. Fuel tank is out on the ground. It's getting hot. I'm probably going to move inside, but I'm going to have to find a place to get rid of this fuel. You know, like at a authorized fuel and oil waste facility somewhere. Sure, that's what we'll do. We'll take it to one of those places where they can recycle it and properly dispose of it. Yeah, it won't end up in the desert. Hell no. Alrighty. So anyway, that's out. Got a lot done. A lot done. Big day. Alright, cool. Okay, so here's the fuel tank out on the ground. And we got some fuel in it, so we're gonna get rid of that as well. I got a can right there. We're gonna dump the fuel in the can. This is your electric fuel pump right here, and this is your fuel sending unit. This is a gas gauge on your dash. It tells you what level your fuel is. So, your main line to your fuel, your return line. These are vent lines that go to your charcoal canister. So we're gonna empty this fuel out of here. And then I'm going to pull out that fuel pump and take a look at that. And if it's pretty nasty, then I'm going to repair it and replace it. And then we're going to throw this thing back up in there. Okay, but it may not be that fast because I don't think I have one of these lines. And you can see here, my vent lines right here broke off. So, and this is pretty brittle. So I'll have to look and see if I've got another line. If not, I'll have to order it or run into town and get it before it goes back in. So, but anyway, let's get this. We got her out on the ground, and let's get rid of this old fuel. Let's take a look at our fuel pump and the inside condition of this fuel tank. Okay. You can record anything. You on that fuel? See the color of this fuel? This is after 5-6 years of sitting, and that's the color your fuel turns. Too bad this isn't smell-o-vision, or you'd smell this terrible varnishy smell. So anyway, we're going to drain this into this fuel can, and we'll take it in and get rid of it so they can recycle it. Here you go. And there, my friends, is a nasty ass fuel pump. So we're gonna clean this up, change this filter. I think I got another one of these. I might change that out too. That's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna put it back together. Cool. That's it. All right. What we're gonna do today is a little side step here. And we're going to prep an area, and we're going to test some colors and some color schemes. So, wow, that's, I'm going to just clear coat that. Clear coat that, trim it out in black. No one will be able to replace that paint job. But anyway, we're going to play with some paint today. So what we're going to do is we're going to just wet sand a couple areas, and we're going to play with some color combinations. I have some ideas in my head, and we're just going to see what it looks like. So stay tuned. Okay, so when we do this, what we're doing is we're keeping it wet. So in this bottle right here is water, but there's soap mixed up in there. The reason we're putting soap on there is because part of the process to prepare the surface by sanding it is also to get clean of any grease and oil spots that are going to cause your paint to fisheye on you. So, but again, this is an off-road vehicle. This is not going to see SEMA. It's not going to. It's very lightly. You're letting the sandpaper do the work. Okay. This is a 400 grit. It's wet sand. This is almost like washing a car. Okay. Really, what we're trying to do here is we're just trying to get off the oxidation, any dirt, any old bird shit, piece of grease, oil, something like that. And we're just trying to make that nice and smooth so that this next coat of paint that we're going to put on is going to stick, and it's going to adhere better. It's going to lay down better, and it might even give you a better finish. But remember, this is a 25-year-old vehicle. Its whole purpose in life is to go out and play in the desert. That's all it is. So we're not going to make some show car here today. We're just going to make things work like they're supposed to. The whole idea of paint, remember, is to protect your metal, and that's what the goal is here. We can make it look kind of good, or somebody turn their head, I guess that's a plus, but there's not too many people out in the desert going to be cheering you on as you're bouncing through off of a cactus or something, or rolling this thing down into a wash. Usually when those things happen, you're by yourself. So Anyway, it's just like washing a car. That's it. Just nice and easy. Let the sandpaper work. See, you don't want it to get all gummed up. See it? Nice and easy. Keep it wet. There we go. When you get that area done, pick up your hose. Put that down. Pick up your hose. Rinse her off. Don't let her dry. You don't want that soap to dry on there either. That's just as bad. Okay? So there you go. And you can probably look here, see if I can get you at an angle. See that reflection? See when you're doing good? Get a nice reflection on that water, okay? Now for this project, I actually have a clear that I got, because if the paint does come out good, I'm gonna protect it with some clear. But it's a satin clear. I don't want shiny shit. No shiny shit, nothing reflective. Okay, it's not what we do. These are also bug out vehicles. You know, this is another reason why we use these budget vehicles right here. When this thing runs out of gas and in a world crisis, that's it. This becomes your home as far as it is wherever it went. So, or you're gonna have to abandon it, or you're gonna have to leave it. You don't want to spend $50,000 on a side-by-side or $80,000 on a ridiculously built, big name off-road vehicle, because you're going to end up abandoning it. And if you're not going to abandon it in an end of the world situation or shit hits a fan situation, someone's going to take it from you. That's all it's going to be. Someone's going to take it from you. That's how it's going to work. So anyway, just have a little fun with this. We're just going to go out, we're going to play around, and we're going to do this at home. We're going to save a little bit of money, and we're going to get her done, and we're going to protect our finish. Okay? Cool. All right, that's it. What do you think? Is that our color? Huh. Flat black. The other thing about this flat black, when you put like armor all over it, it gives it a little bit more richer, but still it doesn't have that shine that you would get even with the satin black. This flat black, but the other problem with the flat black is it gets dirty really, really easy. But then again, see, it tones down that twisted copper. So, and it makes that twisted copper kind of work a little bit. So, I might try that. All right, let me see. Maybe we'll go for the hood next. Wow, I've trimmed so much fender. Just noticed I've trimmed so much fender that I don't even have a place. I'm gonna end up having to cut that. Wow, that's too bad, because that's a nice grill. It's hard to find these grills anymore. So, anyway, okay, I'm gonna drop this hood. I'm gonna finish wet sanding the hood, and I'm gonna put a little bit more color up there and see what we get. Okay.